It was 4 years ago. We purchased 2 gold mines in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia, Darlot and King of the Hills. We purchased it with entrepreneurial vision as a business combination. Since then, we've added significant value through the drill bit, the completion of successful financial and technical studies, and thinking differently. Over the next 15 minutes, let me share with you the Red 5 story of how we've turned an initial investment of $35 million, of $35 million 4 years ago into what I believe is Australia's next major gold mine. Darlot is a very significant part of the Red 5 story. However, due to time constraints this morning, I'll be focused on King of the Hills. The King of the Hills project is unique, and it has many interesting and important layers to it. One of the first key layers to understand is that it's a brownfield site. It's been mined off and on since the 1980s by different organisations, and it's had over 2 million ounces depleted to date. So what does that mean? It gives us two aspects. Firstly, being a brownfield site, all of the key technical parameters are known, such as the metallurgy, the geology, the geotechnical, and so on. So from a risk point of view, in my opinion, this must be the most de-risked development project currently. Secondly, we have tens of millions of dollars of sunk infrastructure that we are able to maximize and utilize both in the underground and the open pit. So when we've come to a capital intensity of the development project, I believe that we are one of the lowest capital intense projects by ounces to be produced. Whilst we purchased King of the Hills as a select underground high-grade mine to be able to fill the mill at Darlot, it was after 12 months of mining that we found something really unusual that intrigued us. We were able to drill underground horizontal holes through the center of the contact and the center of the mineralization, and we were able to assay the whole of the hole. The whole, once we added up all of the assays, the whole assay, we had in the order of 300 meters at 2 grams, 250 meters at 1.8 grams. So we turned the drill around and drilled in the other direction of the contact, and we were getting the same numbers. So we ended up within the order of 2 and 3 football fields of hole assays of somewhere between 1.5 and 2 grams. And we said, hey, hang on, we've got something different here. Instead of a select underground mine, can we take a step back and can we turn this into a bulk proposition? Can we mine the forest instead of mining the trees? So we embarked on a journey that we are about to complete in the coming months. We were able to take a step back, and we've been able to reposition King of the Hills as a bulk open pit and underground mining story. It was last mined in 2004 as a bulk open pit mine, and that was with Sons of Gaulia. Sons of Gaulia unfortunately went into liquidation predominantly because of their hedge position. So really, it's not a new story, it's an old story where we're turning the clock back 18 years to 2004, and we're picking up exactly where Sons of Gaulia left off. However, we have 3 important differences. One, we don't have their hedge position. Secondly, we have a much stronger gold price. In 2004, the gold price was about 600 Australian dollars. Fast forward to today, it's 4 times that at 2,400. And thirdly, we're able to mine underground, and we're able to mine an underground high-grade sweetener that we will be able to put into the milling mix. As part of this journey over the past 3 years to develop King of the Hills as a bulk story, it was in March of 2020, just on the eve of us delivering an updated mineral resource. We looked at the numbers, and the numbers were really quite astonishing. 4.1 million ounces as a mineral resource. And we looked at the breakdown of the inferred and measured and indicated. And we looked at the amount of tons, 66 million tons, and we said, hey, this is an absolute sizable project. How can we deliver shareholder value? So we embarked on a different approach, and we broke normal paradigm of a study where you work sequentially. We raised $125 million equity portion for this project in March of 2020, which was in the middle of the feasibility study. So the feasibility study was still 5 and 6 months ahead of us, and we were able to raise the equity portion for this project to be able to get this project into first gold as quickly and efficiently as possible. And we were able to do that because of our supportive shareholders, the supercharged gold price, the strong mineral resource that we have, the strong pre-feasibility study, and also the fact that it was a brownfield site. So it was in September last year that we announced and completed the final feasibility study for this project, which puts King of the Hills as one of the top 10 largest endowed gold mines in Australia, a really quite incredible position for a small company like Red 5 working towards becoming a mid-tier company. We have a mineral resource of 4.1 million ounces and an ore reserve of 2.4 million ounces. We have a 16-year life of mine, which is really quite incredible in these days. A very strong ounce production, which benefits from both open pit and underground mining, particularly in the first 5 years. Low all-in sustaining cost. To be able to do this, we need to invest $226 million. Because of the strong economic metrics of the feasibility study, the fact that we had raised the equity back in March, that enabled us to do a lot of preparation and homework. We were able to appoint our EPC contractor. We were able to purchase all of the long lead items. We were able to select all of the key components of the mill, and we placed those orders pretty much the next day after we finished the final feasibility study. So we are in a significantly good spot when it comes to delivering on our commitment of the first gold in June quarter of 2022, and I will show you some photographs of that in the coming minutes. On the right-hand side, this table shows you where King of the Hills is in comparison to the other Tier 1 gold assets in Australia. And again, if you run your eye down that list, and you'll see all of those projects and who owns those companies, and then you have King of the Hills owned by Red 5, which is an incredible position for us. On the left-hand side, you'll see where Red 5, once we're in production in the June quarter of next year, will be compared to our peer group, long life, low cost. The project is fully funded. In May of this year, we were able to complete the debt portion of $175 million through a banking syndicate of Macquarie, HSBC, and BNP Paribas. You can see on this chart that we have no debt as of the end of June because we were spending our equity up till that point, and it was July of this year that we started our first drawdown. On the right-hand side, the pie chart, you can see our strong shareholder base that has really enabled us to do the activities that we have. It's geographically diverse and very strong. I was on site yesterday, and I can say that we have, I can say with total conviction, we have an A-grade construction team, both of our owners team and the EPC contractor of Maca Interquip. And it's really when you go to site, such as Christy has done a few weeks ago, that you really get the sense of scale and conviction of this project, and it is really powering ahead. There was a number of wow moments on the site. I took a visitor group, and one of the wow moments for the group was seeing the SAG mill. This SAG mill is one of the largest in Australia. It's a 36-foot diameter mill. It's the same size as Lake Cowal and Gruyere. The bulk of the concrete has been poured. You can see in the near part of the photo, the two rectangular boxes, those are the mill motors. Each mill motor weighs 65 tons and is 9 megawatts each, and that will power this oversized mill with significant latent capacity. In the middle ground, you can see their CIL tanks at their full height of 15 meters, and in the background, you can see Zenith Power pouring the concrete, or have finished pouring the concrete foundations for their 30 megawatt hybrid gas-fired and solar panel power station. All of the key items are ordered and they're delivered to site, and that is the consequence of being able to make the courageous decision to raise the equity midstream through the feasibility study because of our high conviction in the project. What you're seeing here is the ROM wall. It's about 60% complete. You'll see the steel framework. On that steel framework goes a 6 million tonne per annum mezzo gyratory crusher. Again, this project is built for size and scalability. There's a number, as we've been constructing for nearly 13 months now, and we're well on track for completion, there's a number of job dones. And again, this job done means that gives us confidence, should give us all confidence that we're on track for the June quarter to be able to deliver within budget. Our accommodation village is a 380-person facility. It has all the mod cons. As we all know, that the employment situation is extremely tight here in Western Australia, and King of the Hills offers a unique opportunity with its long life. It's very close fly-in, fly-out to Leonora, and a very modern accommodation village. A brief flyover for you. On the left-hand side, you can see that ROM wall. In the foreground, you can see the magnet. On the right-hand side, you can see the conveyors. We're going past where will be the crushed stockpile with the underground conveyors. Going past our lime silo, there'll be a number of conveyors which will feed the crushed ore into that supersized mill. In the foreground, you can see the gold room. It was pleasing to see when I was on site yesterday, the intensive leach reactor arrived. That means that we can complete that building. On the left-hand side, you can see us painting the CIL tanks with a protective polymer. And it's really when you see this project up front, you can get a sense of the scale of what will be a long life, low cost project here on the doorstep in Western Australia. To put a number of time frames around, you can see the ticks in the box. It's great to see and very pleasing, all the job dones that we've done. There's 157 Maca Interquep people and contractors on site yesterday, and so we're into that full mobilisation, and we're powering ahead to finish the construction, installation and commissioning in the March quarter, which is only a few months away, and then that first gold in June of 2022. Another key aspect that is really intriguing about this project is the geology. It's a granodiorite intrusion over 4 kilometres long, 2 kilometres wide, and despite having a very large resource and reserve, it is open in all directions. The metallurgy is the same as the geology. It's well understood. We have a high level of confidence. The scale, it's now rated, the processing plant, at 4.7 million tonnes, combined with the favourable metallurgical properties, together with connected with a low power source, gives us a regional advantage of a very low processing cost. What does this mean for our shareholders? You can see where Red 5 stands out with significant potential to re-rate over the coming months compared to our peer group, as we're rated on an enterprise value by reserve ounce. In summary, King of the Hills is a unique project for this uncertain times. It will transform Red 5 into Australia's next emerging mid-tier gold producer, with benefits not only for Red 5 shareholders, but equally important, the people of Western Australia creating jobs and paying taxes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention and interest this morning, and I hope I've been able to flavour and share information that why I think that King of the Hills will be Australia's next major gold mine. Thank you.